Hey, what's up, Echo Church? I'm here with my beautiful bride, Christy.
Good morning. What are we doing here? For real?
Well, I thought we'd warm up.
Oh, we're warming up.
Yeah.
So you're okay.
Do you have any stretches? Yoga poses? The up dog? What is the up dog?
You're making things up right now. It's downward dog.
Oh, the downward dog.
Seriously.
How does the downward dog work?
I'm not going to explain that right now. I'll show you later.
So the first question is what joke could you tell us?
What do you call cheese that's not your cheese? That's the only one I know.
Nacho cheese.
Yep, there it is. That's all I know.
2 mushrooms walk into a bar. And they order their drinks. And the bartender looks at them and says, "We don't serve your kind here." And they looked at the bartender and said, "Come on, we're fun guys."
That's what you got? For as far as our relationship, what's been the hardest part for you?
I think the competitive nature of kind of our personalities, kind of how we're wired.
I think it's unique because I feel like how competitive we are is our biggest strength sometimes, and it's our biggest weakness. Because I feel like when I look at our relationship and why it works so well, is that determination or grit or drive of we're not quitting. We're not going to fail at this. Of like that's our driving force of, I see that intense commitment to each other, but when we're arguing or when we're not connecting or when there's, just that overall frustration or lack of communication, that's when it gets in the way. Because for me, I feel like the stubbornness kind of goes parallel with our competitive nature sometimes.
Yeah, we have this attitude of being all in. When 2 individuals in a relationship want to win, and they fight to win, they ultimately both lose.
I don't know, maybe it's just me in my head, but if we are arguing, when we've argued in the past, I even think back to it's totally my pride and my stubbornness. But I remember pre-you, when I was a child and I did something wrong with my mom and dad, and so there was a consequence, go to your room or you're going to early bed or whatever the case may be. And I remember vividly standing at the top of the stairs if they were downstairs or in another room or at my door, knowing what I wanted to say, just apologizing and owning my mistake. And it's the words wouldn't come out. And I can hear that dialogue, Christy, just say you're sorry right now. But it's the competitive nature of well, I've already gone this far, and then it gets us nowhere. I think back to Valentine's Day.
I actually kind of feel for you to actually apologize.
It's huge.
That's
my pride.
That's you surrendering.
100%.
And you don't ever do that.
I do. That's a strong term. It's a strong term. I actually do apologize.
It's hard. I know it's hard for you though.
Yeah, I just think you think of all relationships, and if you don't come to a point of agreement or resolution, you're just going to keep revisiting the same topics over and over and over. I look at our relationships sometimes, or friends, family, and it's really easy to just you're just well, we'll go there, we'll talk about it later when the kids are in bed or when we have alone time or, things like that. And it's just easy it can turn into an iceberg if you don't go there.
What's the best relational advice you've ever been given?
Someone came up to me and wrote on an index card for marital advice, and they said, when you fight naked.
It's the best way to fight.
Have we applied that, Andy?
Oh, I can't confirm that.
What's your best marital advice, Andy?
I don't know, because as I was asking that question, I had this in my heart, is don't spit into the wind. Relationally, no matter if you're married or dating, it's mom and dad, uncle, a work relationship, I think for the most part, we as humans know how we can rub someone wrong or push them over the edge. I think a lot of times to prove ourselves or to position ourselves or to make us look better than someone else, sometimes we like, and it's kind of a weird analogy, but we spit into the wind. We think we're going to accomplish something, but what it ends up doing is just, a spit comes flying right back into our face. I think relationally, when it comes to interactions with people, is to use wisdom to be able to pause and ask yourself this question: is this good for the other person? And if so, spit. Because if it's good for them, if it comes back at you, it's probably good for you. And I know, again, that's kind of a far reach for that analogy, but a lot of times that's what we do, is we try to, and relationally, try to position ourselves over someone else. And what that ends up doing is just, we think it's going to elevate ourselves, and really it's just going to lower us.
I just think with relationships, there's never a point where you've arrived. Like, well, now I'm an expert and we're good. I think of piano, like piano playing. Like, I took lessons for 10 years. It was a lot of my childhood and youth years was lessons every week. And I practiced every day, like 5 days a week at least. And when I, was 16 years old, I was decent. Like, I was good. I had gone through all the lesson books and everything. And now, 20 plus years later, if I go to the piano and I grab that lesson book, I can hear the song in my head how I used to play it, and I can't do it. But it was like that skill was practiced, and I worked at it over and over and over. And I think that when I look at our marriage being 15 years in, we can have these sweet, beautiful seasons, and we've had really low seasons. And I think I can get confident, but I think it's that, like, I can't just say, well, I have this skill or I've learned this. It's like, it's constant. I have to work at it every single day. Because otherwise it's like foreign, or it's like, it feels awkward, and some of the people listening to this might feel like that's them right now. And I think that's where it's like, I'll look at you at points where I'm like, this feels like it's harder than it's supposed to be, but that's not a reason to just say, see ya, but it's that working at it every single day and until it clicks. When you're in a relationship with someone, everything about your life is compromised, because it's not about me. It's about us. It's every day. It's little things, big things. It's communication. It's showing up for each other. It's putting each other first, which I think culture just wants to tell you to do the opposite. Go do your own thing, or you deserve this. And I think when you look at the Bible or look at what God says about marriage or relationships, and it's shedding of your old self. It's putting Andy before me. And it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength.